Alrighty, so we're live and you're welcome to our Tuesday Live. Who is excited? And yes, help. I don't know what to do with my children. I see quite a number of parents who actually are confused. In fact, I've gotten so many tags, so many chats asking me, so coach, what do we do? This somebody said this holiday. I don't even know why children they give them this kind of long holiday. They should just be in school, right? It's even what is even more worrisome is that a lot of us do not even know that children need a break. So of course, that's why we also jam everything. A child, there's holiday happening, and already children are, in the place where it's not they're still trying to learn. That's why you do summer schools, you heap everything on them. All right, if you can see me, you can hear me. Let me see your comment in the comment section telling me that you can see and hear me. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have a friend, a family, wherever it is that you are, please chat them, share with them, let them join us. I'm going to be breaking it down for you. Number one, I'm going to be telling you why your child needs that holiday. Number two, I'm going to be sharing with you what you need to do differently. Number three, I am going to be sharing with you to know that the truth is your child do not need to go for extra moral classes or be extra lessons. How do you say it? Summer school, whatever it is. Don't send that child to summer school. In fact, when you actually begin to learn what else to do, you will find out that you have actually wasted a lot. You have wasted a lot of time not keen into, right, having the right kind of holiday with your child. And then, of course, you now find out that the time is running so fast. You'll be asking for more holidays, right? Do I have a parent who is a witness? Who have ever, started doing the holiday the way we call it the holiday the TIP way, right? If you call it, you call it the way, the holiday the TIP way. If you have ever done holiday that way, let me see your comment in the comment section telling me how the holiday feels and all of that. Alrighty, so yes, and I am seeing all of the people in the comment section. So have you invited someone to join us today as we move? Let us quickly go. I don't know what to do with my children this holiday. One of the things that triggered this particular conversation today is that while I was listening to, I was, going around on social media, I saw one of the very big celebrities, and then, she says, I don't know what to do with my son this holiday. I'm a working mom. Oh, what worried me was not what the person said. What worried me was the 1,001 people under that quote, under that chat, under that comment that came out to say this holiday is a burden. I don't even know why they do it. These children are going to choke me. These children are going to give me grief. If you are in that place where you actually think that a holiday is a disturbance to you, there is something you do not name. You do not know, right? There is something you do not know. Okay? Thank you so much, Ibotic Girl. The best holiday using the guide. If you use whatever it is that we're teaching you today, you'll find out that the holiday becomes fun and your children actually want to have it. Last Tuesday, I actually shared that one of the things that you must do with the holiday is that the holiday must be easy, it must be entertaining, and it must also, very importantly, be educative. All right, this is so important. This is very important for you to really know. So every holiday that you actually put together for your child, and you think about these three things: entertainment, enjoyable, and easy. Trust me, you'll find out, an educative, right? They need to enjoy it. It needs to be educative and it needs to be easy. You find out that your children actually begin to enjoy the holiday instead of it becoming a burden. So the holiday is not a burden. The holiday is a time for your children to actually create some fun while learning through it all. Alrighty. So why are the holidays even very important? The holiday traditions, there are different myriads of benefits and all of that. The things that you do, during the holiday, it's so key. Hi, Dr. Happiness is talking. All right. It's so key when you use the TIP holiday bundle. You want it to end because there's so much for you to do. Now, while reading through those tweets, while reading through those comments, one thing that I noticed was that most of these people didn't know what else to do. So this is one of the things that parents end up doing. Is that they put their children in front of the screen, right? So someone is in front of the screen just watching from morning till night, or they actually send their children away. So for parents, holiday is a time where please do not disturb me. In fact, some parents actually never take leave during the holiday of their children because you do not want them to disturb you. So I forgot to say this. If you're joining us for the very first time, it is your first time joining the Tuesday live, let me see you in the comment section say that it is your first time joining us live, right? And of course, that means this is the time where we welcome you to the cathedral, right? We have ushers who will actually offer you what it is that we have, right? We welcome here. We actually are excited to have you. So have you shared this link with your family and friends? Have you shared this link with someone out there? So one of the things that you're going to note is that it's my first time. Yay! I can see a lot of people saying it's their first time joining live. Yay! So we have first timers. Can we sing for them and can we bring them entertainment? All right, that was on a lighter mode. So you have the children also need holiday. Many times you're working, you get to a point where you are actually saying to yourself, I'm tired, I'm fagged out, I need a holiday. Now, most times, one of the things that we do not think is that parents are also human. Now, I tell you why we actually don't think like that, right? We usually think that, oh, he's a child. What does he know? What's he doing? He's just going to school and coming back. Me, I'm the one slaving, right? I'm the one slaving. They don't know anything. They don't understand what it is. But these children also go through stress. That's what you don't understand. So that's why when parents actually do, quite a number of things with their children, you find out that they don't consider children as being human. They don't consider children as being human. If you do, you will realize that your child needs a break. So pushing your child back to school to go and face another whole curriculum in school, I don't want to say that you're being wicked, but I'm short of actually saying that. Because your child needs a break. Every time people say this, how about working parents? How do they do it? I am also a working parent. Hello. I'm not a stay-at-home parent. I work. Whether you are stay-at-home, you work. I have seen stay-at-home parents who are not able to deliver. I have seen working parents who are not able to deliver. So it's not a status thing, So we have turned it to this thing is for parents who are not working. For those of us who work, it's not the same. Your child doesn't really know the difference. You're working or you're at home. What the child actually requires of you is that your child needs to be able, right? To be able actually to get the things that they need to get from you. So it is inconsequential to the child what your status is. So you are the one that is going to actually make it happen. Again, this is not a question of I work or I don't work. Even the woman who stays at home is working. The point will be, what knowledge do you have to be able to deliver to the child what it is that is required per time? You can work and not know nothing to do. You can be a stay-at-home mom or dad and still fail at parenting. So availability is good in parenting, right? But beyond availability is the content of your availability. So you can be available and not be there, right? You can be available and not be there. Okay, so I am available and there is no content to my availability. So these are key aspects of your journey that you must look at. So whether you're working or you're not working, preparing for the holiday is something you must do. Your child didn't ask you whether you're working. You decided to actually give whatever it is. But what you are obligated to do is to parent that child. However, you need to do it, you need to find a way because you are the parent. So beyond availability is content. It's content. I have seen many parents who are present and yet have no content to deliver. So somebody help me put in the comment section. In parenting, beyond availability, the content is important because without content, you cannot deliver what it is that is required of you. Let me say that again. In parenting, beyond availability, content is important because beyond availability, right? Your child, you will need to be able, your child just requires that you actually deliver on parenting. So your child is not asking you, right? Whether you are there, you are not there, is a content to actually make them become who they need to become. Who they need to become. That is actually the most important thing. So beyond availability, content is important. So you can be available and your child have nothing to show for it because you have nothing to give. So I was teaching, recently, and that was a few days ago, 2 days ago in a church. And I said, we usually quote the scripture, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. But what we don't even think about is that we have the content to be able to deliver that child to where they are going. How do you take someone to where it is that they are going without you knowing where it is that they are going? So the problem is not just being there. You can be there and not know where the person is going. So when you don't know where the person is going, what do you do? How do you connect it? How do you help that child? So it's okay for you to shout, I'm not available. It's okay for you to say, how about, we're working or we're not working and all of that. I have worked since I was 20. I haven't stopped working. I'm 39 today, right? Almost 40. So it's been almost 20 years of my working life. I didn't stop working. I've raised a set of twins who are 14 years. And for every holiday, it's been planned back to back, even working in the highest level of international organization ever in the world. I still had time. I decided. Again, it is a choice. Why was I able to do that? I had content. We're going to get there. What do you need to actually make the holiday valuable? Number two reason you actually need to make the holiday valuable is that it's a perfect time for family bonding. For us, it's an amazing time for family bonding because we use it to actually be able to shut down, sit in the place. Sometimes we find ourselves in a room, according to our daughter, sharing whatever it is, before everybody goes back home to their chambers. It's a deliberate attempt in my family to get everybody together. So how much time do you really spend as a family? Think about it. When your children are going to school, your children are actually not really spending time with you. Do you know that? All right? Your children are not really spending time with you because your child leaves in the morning, okay? And then your child gets back home 2 p.m. Now, some of us actually have our children getting back home 6 p.m. And then if you live in Lagos, you're on your own. Sometimes your children will reach home at 10 p.m. Now, how many minutes do you really sit with your children? You find out that you are actually not parenting. Parenting requires that you come with presence and content. So you need to be there to actually be able to do what you need to do. So by the time you come back home as a parent who lives, for instance, in Lagos, your children are actually already sleeping. And then the holiday time where you are actually able to give even the littlest of it, you find out that you're not also available. Now, it is interesting that you will say, oh, so how about weekends? But during the weekends, you are out there partying at Shwebi and wearing all kinds of things and then going to all kinds of, you're either in the salon or you're with the boys. Or so you find that the children are actually being sacrificed on the altar. Now, the question will be, what is the choice? What is the choice? What are the things that you need, choices that you need to make? I keep saying every time that the choice is yours. The choice is yours to decide. How do I, lock in? I have seen, I've been privileged to coach parents who are in the military system. And I tell you for free, some of these fathers who are in war front are more available than some fathers who are actually sitting with their children at home. Yeah. So you can actually make these choices. The first thing to say is not, how about people who are working? No. The first thing to ask is, how do I make it work? Can you see perspective? Right? So in the masterpiece mentorship program, I would always say that I have the gift of prophecy, perspective, and problem solving. The first thing you want to ask yourself as you're listening to me today is, how do I make this happen? Now, I am hearing that it's important that I spend time with my children because the holiday is a perfect time for family bonding. Now, I haven't prepared for family bonding this year. What else can I do? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. See, the quality of the questions you are asking as a parent will determine the quality of your parenting. Let me say that again. The quality of the questions you are asking as a parent will determine the quality of your parenting. And in all, generally, that will also determine the effect that will have on your children. So, what questions are you asking? That's the conversation today. Are you really asking the right question or are you complaining? So you need to actually begin to move from the place where you're complaining, hey, all these things that they're teaching is not possible, it's not feasible, because that's the position most of us take. We take the position of, this thing, as you're listening, you already blocked your mind because somewhere you're asking yourself, it's not possible. I'm working. It's not for me. This is for people who don't have what they are doing. Who told you we don't have what we're doing? We all do. And I'm sure that if I actually bring out my schedule and we actually put it side by side, you'll be shocked at how much time you have compared to how much time I don't have. So, what questions are you asking? So, as you're listening to me today, I want you to actually begin to ask the right question. Ask the question in the right perspective. Stop complaining. Start asking the right questions. Start asking yourself, what else can be done? And as you ask yourself, like I tell the parents in the inner circle, anytime I say this, people look at me and say, oh, the inner circle, you said that a lot of the time. Parents in the inner circle will get this. Yeah, do you get it? I'm sure you do get it. Alrighty. So the quality of the questions you're asking as a parent will determine the quality of the knowledge and the effect will be seen on your children. It is important for you to understand that if you are not, asking the right questions, you're going to get stuck. So most of us are stuck in our parenting. So we're going on complaining, and then we also throw the blame game. I call it Adamic parenting, where all of us are constantly blaming. We call it the blame game. You're constantly blaming. When you get into the academy, one of the things that I tell you is that you cannot complain because the TIP parent, the inner circle parent, the intentional parent is a thinking parent. All you need to do is to think. So start thinking. And that's why I often say that if you cannot raise your children to think, you are going to struggle. So most of us were actually not raised to think. We were raised to complain. And that's why when there's a problem, we were not raised to solve problems. No, we're not. So we were raised that when we see a problem, the first thing we do, and look around you, that's what we do in Nigeria, right? The first thing we do is, hey, why is it like some of us now are stuck? Hey, they want to kill us. Oh, food. Oh, there's no money. Oh, we're just stuck complaining. Most of us are doing nothing. And then we pray because according to us, there's this thing about prayer that we actually hide on that. I say it all the time that most times our prayer is actually us hiding under the act of responsibility. So instead of you to get responsible and say there is something I need to do, you start blaming God, blaming everybody, blaming your children, and then you're saying, while I'm saying it now, you're saying, we need to go and hustle for school fees now. Are they not the one collecting plenty school fees? All that pressure. Somebody shared something at the TIP book review in a circle yesterday. I think one of the others, I think that should be cohort 1A, right? Very insightful review. And she was saying something. She said, is it possible that these pressures are just pressures that we put on ourselves? That all this, I need to do this, I must do this, I must afford this. Is it possible that we are just, just on that place and not being able to also think on how we can be available, how we can come up with content? See, I have noticed that the parents who are actually very successful in the academy are parents who are extremely busy. Busy people are always very successful. So if you think that it's because you're working that this is not going to work, then of course it means that you're not thinking yet. And if you think that because you are a stay-at-home mom, you think that that's how, or a stay-at-home father, that's how this thing is going to work, because you're there, then of course you are also thinking. So there is more to do. Start thinking, start planning, start organizing, start, looking for solutions. Stop complaining. All right. And that's part of why you're here. So the perfect family bonding time is this time. Like I was saying earlier, by the time you come back home, everything is all done. And of course, you're wondering, where's it? There's no time. So your children actually literally grow up not knowing who you are in the real sense of it. And when you're at home, most times they are watching TV and you're scrolling on your phone. Think about it for a while. So if you begin to think about all of the things that can happen and it's happening, then you begin to think of how do I now spend much, much more time. And this spending of time is not about just you sitting down all day with your children. It's beyond that. Remember, it is not just availability that counts. It is your ability to be available with content that can deliver. So you can be available with content that can deliver. And the interesting thing, all of us are available with content. Yeah. The problem is, what kind of content are you available with? You can be available with content that cannot deliver your child anywhere. Train up a child in the way he should go. And there is a way the child should go. That means there is a content that is required for your child to get to where it is that he's going to. So if the child must go there, you need to go there first so that you know where it is that the child is going. So yes, everyone is available with content. I usually say, people say, oh, parenting doesn't have any curriculum. That's a lie. Because you are the curriculum. You are constantly parenting with a curriculum. Whether you like it or not, good or bad, there is a curriculum. And then when the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, it simply means that is a blueprint for that child to go. There is a going for the child. Whether you like it or not, whether you try to quote the scripture to turn it around so that you don't take responsibility and you tell God to actually take responsibility, it doesn't change nothing because God doesn't parent people for you. Parenting, it's man's job. And that's why the only child of God was parented by man. No matter how it is that you want to look at it, it is your job. It's your sole responsibility. You cannot abdicate that responsibility. The next thing is that it creates perspective to alleviate stress and anxiety. Right? Young people can, often have pressures, anxiety that can truly, they cannot really understand. Sometimes can they really understand what's happening to them? So stepping away from the everyday life, maybe they have issues with their friends at school, worries about their exams, anxiety about how this teacher behaves and all of that. Stepping away from that everyday life for a while and realizing that there is a big world out there. It's not just about your school. It can actually help the child to be able to gain perspective for their own lives. So that stepping away for a while is a good thing for your child. So don't send your child back to that environment. Psychologically speaking, your child shouldn't be in that environment all through the year. But one of the things we do is that the only time the children leave that environment of the school, it's only when the children are on Christmas break. And then you take them out on Christmas break. Christmas break that is stressful. You cook from morning to night. The children are stressed. You are stressed. Nobody enjoys. That's another conversation for another day, right? So at the end of the day, you find out that you are actually just, stressed. The child can't see beyond that environment, and it's a negative. And if a child cannot see beyond that environment, the child cannot create. Cannot create. This is very key. All right. Okay, so the next thing is that it's a great time for building social skills. Right now, we are actually having a lot of people with social skill issues. Children are going to the school, don't really bother. See, the things that your children will need to try, it's not the school that's going to teach them. You are the one that will teach them. And if there is a gap, and that's why I say a novice cannot raise a genius. And when I say it, a lot of parents actually think that I mean that an educated person cannot, an illiterate cannot raise an educated. That's not what I mean. There are two different conversations. So remember that the conversation in parenting it's not about righteousness and sin, like I often say. It's about foolishness and wisdom. It's about foolishness and wisdom. Every time you think about parenting, think about it in that manner. Ask yourself, am I being wise? Am I being foolish? Two-way, two straight way. And like Olakune trainer will say, PK will say that foolishness is an office. An office you occupy, right? So on your journey, you need to actually begin to ask those kind of questions. So a novice cannot raise a genius. And when I say that, I mean that a woman who is illiterate can actually be a genius, who will raise a genius. So it's beyond, it's about what you know, because you cannot give what you don't have. Remember, if your child is going to go to that place, train up a child in the way he should go. That means you need to go there to understand how it is to take your child there. Nobody takes anybody where they do not understand. And no, God doesn't take people to the place. You are the parent. You have the responsibility. So a holiday, particularly, is a great way of meeting new people, improving social skills, improving communication skills. It's been said that in the next 10, 20 years, the children who have more social skills would actually be able to rule their mates. Now, what you do not know is that there are people who are already raising kings, kingmakers, and those who will sit at the table with these kings. Oh, by the way, that's the theme of the TIP annual conference this year. Raising kings, kingmakers, and those who sit at the table with kings. So you need to actually begin to note that people are raising our players, even while we're here. Like I often say, when people say, oh, what is it? What is it? Do I need to do all this? No, you don't. Because in every system, for survival to happen, there must be kings and there must become commoners. So the choice is yours. Is that you're raising a king or you're raising a slave? Either way is a two-way factor. There's no in-between. There are no in-betweens at all. There are no in-betweens. So it is something that you must begin to think. In the next 10, 20 years, these guys who have more social skills, who can focus, will be leading the guys who don't. I've already seen it happening. So you want to ask yourself, am I really positioning my children to the things to be able to actually carry on this? And I was in the States some few weeks ago, and I sat with the Jewish community. I have a Jewish friend, and when I sat with them and I was looking at the grandchildren, looking at the environment, looking at the things that they were doing and all of that, and I started to realize that these guys intentionally, right? I've read so much about it, but it was it was a life event for me. It was like I was watching the things I've read. And these guys intentionally put their children to be kings. That's the way they're not swayed with what it is that you're saying. No. You see a Jewish guy in school in the US, you find out, that he's Jewish. There are no two way. So all these things that you say, oh, peer pressure, oh, my children must eat phone, oh, my children everybody's doing it. They don't have those pressure. It's interesting. Is interesting. Is interesting that you must understand that people are positioning people to rule your children. They've been ruling for years, and you wonder why it is so. It is because they understand what it means to actually raise kings, to sit at the table with kings, and also make kings. There are people making kings today. There are people sitting at the table with kings. There are people raising kings. You need to begin to ask yourself, my method of parenting, does it take my children to the point where they can sit at that table with kings? The next one is, it will also help them to understand and appreciate other cultures. So this is holidays, an opportunity to expose your children. See, if you're stuck on English and math as a way of actually making your child successful in today's world, your child is going to fail. I say that again. If you're stuck on English and maths as a means to make your children successful, your child will fail, because that is not success. So you need to actually begin to ask yourself, how and what do I need to do to make sure that I position my children to actually be much, much more successful? So success is actually in the definition, right? I'm going to leave that because that's going to take us a lot of time. Now, what does the holiday do for the children? It it helps them. It's safe, to think that children don't have problems. It's safe that to think that they mean that they don't need a break. But holidays serve as a break from their everyday routine, which is very good for them. It can make them to appreciate beautiful places, importance of doing things differently every once in a while, being able to actually do things, that they can actually enjoy, right? So what are you exposing them to? Beyond the English and maths that they go to school to go and see, what else? What ifs? When you read the parable of the 10 virgins, one of the things that I was able to pick up from that parable, I chronicled that in my book, Raising the Independent Thinking. And I said that one of the key factors that differentiated the foolish virgins and the wise virgins is the what if factor. What if factor? What if? And anytime when I ask about what ifs, parents are not able to actually, look at it. They say, oh, it is about, being a sinner because the other ones were not righteous. But that's not true. The 10 virgins were virgins. They were all righteous, if you want to look at it from that angle. What differentiated them was foolishness and wisdom. The what ifs. The wise virgins asked the what ifs. They were trained to think of the what ifs. They were trained to look at the other things. They were trained to look beyond English and maths to be able to succeed. So the foolish virgins just learned English and maths. The way they gave them, they went out like that. And of course, they missed the mark. I want you to think about that parable of the wise virgins and the foolish virgins in that sense. Link it up to your parenting. I have been given the gift to actually be able to see the scriptures in the parenting light. And trust me, it has solved problems for many families over the years. And anytime that I'm able to actually, look at these things, you begin to actually dissect it. See, everything you need to learn is actually right there, if you actually, read the scriptures the way you should read it. So the what ifs are you giving? What are the what ifs you're giving your children? Apart from they just, went to school and then they came back. So growing up, I remember that I had to read books that were non-academic, a lot of it. My dad was a teacher, said that over and over again. And of course, being a teacher's child, there were things that were prohibited, right? Like not reading. So sometimes when people, can't read, I have, or maybe you're trying to jump a sentence or something, do you know that learning how to read actually helps children to pay attention to details, tiny details, little things, being able to see the things. So what else are your children reading? What else? What are the what else? What are the what else is? What else are your children doing apart from going to school to score A's? Do you know the flip side? Do you know the interesting side? If a child is doing well, actually learning the what ifs and what else is, they actually do better than the child who is only learning maths and English. Yeah, they do. So that your child, I usually say that your child made an A in mathematics doesn't necessarily mean that your child has math skills. So math skills are different from the fact that you can pass. I passed math. I didn't have math skills. I learned math skills after I was done with school. Yeah. So you can pass mathematics, make an A, and yet you do not know the rudiments of mathematics itself. And which is actually what we're talking about. So this holiday is actually the time to get your children to begin to think and begin to do things differently and begin to do things outside of we are now doing plus math and all of that. Is English and math bad? No, it's not. But it's structured education. Structured education doesn't give you what it is as required, really, to actually make impact. If you're going to make impact, you must learn beyond the school system. That's the truth. That's actually the real education. I keep saying that education is attention, awareness, and advocacy. That's what it is. But there is something bigger. There is something, deeper. There is something you need to find, something that actually impacts, something that transforms. And that's beyond the education. That's actually when you begin to now search. God has given us the ability to actually search through, right? So if all you know is just that structure in the four walls for your child, of course, that is you giving your child a disadvantage. There's something that I call the parenting advantage. So I'm currently writing a book, The Parenting Advantage, strategy skills, the things that, I call it the 5 E's of parenting: experiences, examples, expectations, exposures. These are the things that your children are going to actually have, and it becomes an advantage to them that you raised. I keep saying that there are many people now, if they were raised by you, for instance, Mark Zuckerberg, if they were raised by you, I do not think that he's going to be the owner of Meta. Think about it. I keep saying that you are a product of who raised you, how you were raised, where you were raised, and what the person who raised you know. It's a determining factor to who you become. Trust me, if you were born maybe in India, you would have become someone else. If you were born in the East instead of being born in the North, you would have been different because your environment is a huge determining factor. Your parent is a huge. So you are a product of who raised you, how you were raised, where you were raised, and where the person who raised, what the person who raised you know. It's my quote. I have proven it beyond every reasonable doubt, right? I do not stand to be corrected. All right. So another thing is that it promotes emotional stability. When you actually have children who are able to do great, there's the stability they have. When you meet the twins, my children are 14. They have this stability that is stable, you know. So when you wix your children, when you are, you know, you do not allow them to actually get out to the place where they should actually be per time. You find out that your children are stuck up. Now, but when you take them away, there is a holiday, they're exposed to different settings, you take them away to the worries, take them away for having them back in school, take them away from summer holiday classes, dear parents. You know, it's interesting that we prepare so much for graduation. We buy all the attribute. I've been seeing what's been trending on social media. I can't believe it. Like, what's happening? Somebody even asked me, are the twins not going to SS1? I'm like, is it team? Really? So I'm supposed to actually blow trumpet right about now. But don't get me wrong. It's not a bad thing to celebrate that your child is graduating. Trust me, I love celebrations. I love, all that. But let's not actually swap it. So all of us are all doing all of that, spending all of that money. But our children are actually not getting the real thing. So now you agree with me that your content is important. The fact that you have money doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to parent right. The fact that you're poor doesn't necessarily mean you're going to parent right. I have seen poor people raise idiots. I have seen rich people raise idiots. It has no social strata. It respects no religion. It respects no place, not even a continent. I have seen Americans raise idiots. I have seen anybody who do not understand this, the whole setting on how it is to raise a child will fail at it. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter. So it can happen to anybody. I remember when we were talking about drug prevention, doing the sex educate your child like a pro. Somebody reached out to me and said, some of these things is for low-class parents whose children are exposed to things outside. And I said, let me shock you, man. Crack cocaine is expensive. Only people whose parents can afford are really rich, not just have money. Really rich can afford crack cocaine. So 98% of the time, I will leave 2% for whatever it is reason. People who actually do crack cocaine, people of the world, where do you get the money to actually get crack cocaine? If your parents don't have money to buy it. So don't even sit down in the place where you're saying, no, this is not for the poor. No, this is not for the rich. Oh, no, this is not. It cuts across all social strata, cuts across. All right. So, and then another thing that it helps your children is that it makes them interested in the world around them. Now, your children need to be interested in the world around them. You want your child to make impact. You want your child to do all of that. You want your child to become so powerful, but you don't want them to know anything about their world. How do you impact the world you know nothing about? And that's what we're doing with our children. Our children know nothing about the world that we live in, and we're constantly actually in the place where our children are struggling. There's something we say in the inner circle. It is impossible to make impact from your bedroom. Your bedroom is too small, too tiny a space for impact making. I was listening today to Bishop David Oyedepo, right, my father in the Lord, and he said something very profound. He said, can we get out of the church and become the light outside? Because you are the light of the world, not the light of the church. You are not the light of your family. You are the light of the world. So let the children be able to see the world. You see the shielding? it makes no meaning. What you need to do is to get the correct parent that will help you to actually help your children to do what they need to do, so they can broaden their horizons, see life of different people around them. Take your children to the next city, take them to the next town, take them into a keke if they haven't driven in one, take them on a bike if they haven't driven in one, take them to trek with you. Let them see world for what it is. That is actually the whole idea, right? I know that most of the parents I speak to are middle class parents, and I know what it is to be in the middle class, where we actually feel, you know what, I don't want my children to suffer what I have suffered. Okay? But at the end of the day, you find out that your children are going to suffer if you're not able to put all of the things, right, for the child. So let your child learn, while there. It also helps your children, with their confidence and their self-esteem. Self-esteem. When on holiday, you are encouraged to, participate in various activities if your holiday actually has content. If your holiday actually has content, your children will do so many, activities around them. It could be simple swimming, it could be, riding the bicycle, it could be talent hunting. In my home right now, we have a whole holiday preparation system. We've created, some devotional to actually build on their spiritual life. We have created some fun. We have created, I'm giving Inner Circle parents my well-prepared 30 days devotional free. Yes, when it's ready, I'm going to put it on seller for you to buy. Inner Circle parents gets it for free, but put together with different figures, being able to actually, it's also crafted from the ultimate holiday plan. There is a plan in it. So if you have the ultimate holiday plan, you can actually take it, get the sample that it is in there. I just had to rebuild mine, right? Today, I just had to rebuild mine for this year. And then, I just want to be able to just give it. So the parents in the Inner Circle are dear to my heart. And if you're asking what the Inner Circle is about, the Inner Circle is a parenting academy, right? Parenting academy. Parenting academy, where parents learn how to parent. And in that place, you have tools, you have content. You're not just coming empty. You're not just coming with guesswork. You're not just, assuming your process to know. We're giving you real content, value that you're actually going to actually be able to, deal with all of these things. So it's like sometimes you have done for me kind of process. Just think about it. Parenting done for me kind of thing, right? You just, put in your own methodologies and then you move. That means you actually have all of that system right in place. So I was creating, we're creating the devotional for 30 days, using all of the, different figures. These are some of the plannings we've done already, waiting for the holiday so that our children are not just, everywhere. Some of us, we're looking at our children cannot, right? Our children cannot, they can't pray, they can't connect. They don't even know who your God is. And you're not even talking about it. You're not looking at the lapses. See, the holiday is also a time, to build on skills. To build on skills. That's a very amazing time to actually teach your children the things that are missing. What are those things that your children are struggling with? This is the time. There was a particular holiday we realized that our children didn't know how to greet culturally in our culture. My husband and I created the curriculum, and then we started to teach them how to actually greet. So there are some things that are important to us. Being able to actually move your body, right? Dance, and we realized our children couldn't move their body. It was so funny. All of these things fell under social skills. So we started to teach intentionally and actually put them through. We realized one time that our children had issues negotiating. So we had to put a whole holiday, name it, team it negotiation. And then we started to teach using the ultimate holiday bundle, and we are able to actually put. So the ultimate holiday bundle had different planners in it. And for just $49999, you are able to get the ultimate holiday bundle. And it has different things. I'm talking to you about skills. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, how do I plan? Not how is it that I'm going to just be there. How do I plan? So while you're hearing this holiday, you need to be there, you need to do this, you need to do that. We're actually giving you a done for kind of thing. You have the ultimate holiday bundle, and all you need to do is to actually look at it. Okay, I am not on leave. I have the ultimate holiday bundle. Okay, I can see that this is what it is that I can do with it. And then you bring it out, and then you begin to actually look at the bundle and ask yourself, what can I do What can I do? How do I schedule? So it means that if you're not there, you can also create systems that can actually help you to become part of the system. So you can so imagine that you have a system, you have someone who is staying with with the children for a while you've gone to work, because obviously if you are going to work at that time, you didn't plan to be at home at that time, which is also still okay, right? So that you can start the next year and start building. So for us in the academy, January we started working. If the father cannot be there, the mother will be there. We started working, and then the mother will also find a way to synergize, to follow up and all of that. So if that is you, we have, for instance, the toddler schedule in the ultimate holiday bundle. So if you have the what's it called, the toddler schedule, and you have a toddler and you need to be at work, all you need to do is actually to create the schedule, look at how it is that you're going to help, follow through with it. And whoever it is that is staying with the toddler learns the schedule with you and follows on, you follow up. So have you been able to do this? So have you been able to do that? So have you been able to do that? So have you been able? So you follow, but you have a structure. It's not that you wake up. You say, Ada, you're calling yourself. Have the children been there? They've been watching TV all day, Abby. Don't put it up, put it up, put it up. What kind of parenting is that? Parenting, we call it achikote no parenting, Everybody, let us all go. Have you ever seen where they are putting tomato that is not okay, right? They just put it all together. It will just be like this in heaps. And you just take it like that, just gather it together. That's the kind of parenting. That's the kind of parenting you're actually doing. But you can actually create your parenting to become fun. And once you actually understand these things, it becomes really, really fun. So you put structures in your systems, and not just play, and not just continue to complain. This bundle, how will I use that? I'm not there. What are you saying? You can create these systems, create this structure, start building on it while you work on how you will now actually be physically present as we go forward. In the now, you need to think of, what can I do, right? I have a parent, when she finished building her holiday plan using the 14 holiday planner, she looked at the different aspects, and then she began to actually put different things. And then she said that she had to create time blocks. Her office was close to the house. She decided that every break she was going to come to the office and drop and eat lunch. Are you looking at it? So 2 p.m., she had the luxury to be able to actually have 1 hour of work. She said, okay, every day, 1 hour, I'll be at home for lunch. And then she made the children make lunch, made them, do things. So she was at home every 2 p.m. for lunch. And she said that was one of the best holidays my children have ever experienced, because I was just planned. And once I'm done at the office, I don't go gisting, following people all around and saying things. That I just pack my bag and go. Sometimes I find out that I'm reaching home even earlier than usual, because all those times that I claim I'm busy, I'm not really busy. And she said, once I get to the office, the first thing I do is to just face my work head on, leave my phone, leave everything, because I know I have a target. So as soon as the day work is over, it's 4 p.m., I have nothing else to do. So I'm able to actually start moving. And you see the thought process. This is just an example. It's a simple example. So you don't necessarily need to say, so they say my children are on holiday, I just need to say and be looking at them. Oh, for some of us, we enjoy being with our children, right? We've created a system where, the holiday is fun. It's been looked, up. If you're looking for me during, the whole of August, and you might not find me. I'm not going to be available. So yes, I am one of those parents, one of those parents who actually shut down to create moments, create systems to actually be with our children. So of course, you have that shared schedule, you have the reading planner. You can get your children to start their reading plan. Our children already have their summer list books that it's already waiting. So our children have a longer holiday, by the way. They've been on a holiday for a while, right? And then, so of course, we already started our processing. We already started, part of the exposures. We have the household chore planner. We use this when our children hadn't mastered the chores. Right now, my husband and I have no business with the chore in the house. I know, don't give me that, coach, you don't understand, my house is big. You don't even know half of it. As big as my house is, I have no business cleaning nowhere, right? So it's just an excuse to bail out your child. So that book is ready. Raising a Son, you don't need to bail out. That's one of my, best publications. I don't know how, every time, psycho parents will say, I read this one, I think it's the best. When they read Raising the Independent Thinking Child, everybody was like, I think this is the best, really. All right, there's also a list of educational resources, website, movies, YouTube channels that your children you can actually purposefully, help them to learn. You can put a lot of math, you can build math skills, depending on what it is that you're learning. Then there's also the daily planner. Now, the daily planner helps our children to actually stay organized. During the holiday, you find out that the children, twins wake up, and then everywhere is clean. They are seated. Before you wake up, they are seated, devotional on one side, book on one side, trying to complete the book of the day and the devotional of the day. Create systems. It's systems that actually stay on with your children. I was having a conversation with Pastor David Oyedepo, and he said something that was very interesting. He said, our father didn't need to be there all through, but the systems he built held the whole thing together. So you need to ask yourself, so like I always say, the busier people who actually have content make more impact, because the truth is, you know that you don't have the luxury of time. So you actually put in a lot more. But some of us who think that we have the luxury of time actually just, and just let it go. So for some of us who are actually, really tied, down with them, and the truth, every single one of us operates with one single time system. 24 hours, never going to change. No matter how it is that you scream or say, I don't have time, it changes nothing. Your children are going to operate with 24 hours. You are going to operate with, I have 24 hours, you have 24 hours. So it doesn't matter how much you want to say, I don't have time, this holiday thing, it doesn't matter. God is not going to change it specifically for you. You must be able to create and think. That's why you are the creation of God. That's why you are God. The Bible says that He has made you a God, right? Gods are creative. Gods are thinkers. So think. And then you also have the habit builder planner for children. Inside that guide, you can actually get the habit builder where you are able to put a lot of things, together, put, habits, trackers and all of that. There's also the responsibility chart for children, right? Where you see the responsibility you need to have every day. So imagine you have the practical life skills builder, you have the screen time checklist, right? We have the 30 days holiday devotional that I talked about, right? The one that is in the ultimate holiday bundle is the one built around Moses, the prophet. You will enjoy it. And then we also have the vacation planner. So, one of the things that the vacation planner did for us is that as young as the twins were about to, we started using the vacation planner for them. In the vacation planner, there is a packing list. So every time we bring out the packing list, that means they know what it is that they need to pack. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. When they are done, we come and check. You didn't pack this, you didn't put this. It was no war. Let me tell you what that has done for the twins. We traveled recently for my brother's wedding, and I was looking at how well packed our daughter's box was. I was excited. I felt like snapping it and doing video of it. You see how the packing was so systemic. It was so, everything put in spaces where they should be. I saw our son packing his things, nothing missing, nothing. And I realized that in the past over 4 years now, we've not checked what they're packing to school. We've not checked what they are traveling to pack with. We don't bother because they've been able to master. They've been able to master the system of being able to pack things, because over the years, we've used each holiday to teach them how to pack their things, starting from when they were 2. Did you hear me? So today, come on. I see parents who are, trying to actually trying to actually see all of the things that the children. So I'm wondering, what are they doing? Your child is packing. Our daughter packed to the point that there was something I needed that I forgot. I just turned to her, Nay, what did you bring? She said, Mom, I brought extras, and then I folded in some more things just in case. Our daughter packed her hair dryer, packed her small steamer for her clothes. I said, come on now. And at the end of the day, you just find out that these children can actually do this with a lot of cheap. They now pack boxes better than I do. But it comes with a lot of training. You need to actually train your children. And that was, of the consistency. So every skill you build, you can use these things, you can use this holiday to continually build skills for your children so that when they get out, our children don't travel with screens. I think people, the children are holding tablets, iPad everywhere. No, we don't do that. You read on the trip and they are used to it. Nobody's asking you for a phone to play, or my children don't use my phone. They don't need it. So they don't even ask for it. So you need to actually build. Once you build that thing, and when you can build it is now. Nobody's going to actually, teach a child how to pack like that. Now you're asking me, so when they finish packing, is that going to actually give them anything extra? I tell you, organizational skill is a big deal. A big deal. And I have seen it give me an urge working in all the organizations that I have worked. So I'm one of those people that when you get into their bedroom, you actually see things where it is differently. I'm the one that organized, the wardrobe and I don't like scattered places, right? So it's giving me an edge. It's also giving me an edge in being able to manage huge numbers of people in the academy without being stressed. That's what organizational skills does for you. So I'm not sure you haven't seen me anytime, looking like, oh, I'm dying, the work is killing me. No, because I have mastered the ability to actually manage my energy, manage my strength, and manage my time. There's a mastery to it. And that's what it is that I'm actually teaching my children. I don't want to have children who get overwhelmed. Most of us are overwhelmed with the holiday because we were not trained on how it is to actually help us learn how not to get overwhelmed. One of the first things that happen in the inner circle when you get in, first 2 days, like, hey, I'm overwhelmed though, because we were not taught how to stay organized. So until you learn it, you find out that these things are very highly advantageous. So you now find the child, our children are in boarding school, they're not overwhelmed with anything. They wake up at 4:30. They've been waking up at 4:30 all their life. So it's not a big deal. So they're not feeling overwhelmed or something befell them or they're now dying. They're not dying, they're fine. They were prepared to be in that system. Their stability is palpable. And it comes from a lot of you, being able to actually sit and train. And you can't do this. A lot of these things will be difficult during school time. Now you're complaining of work during holiday. How about school time? How do you do it? How do you do it? All right. The moment you are able to, yes, my husband is here, the governor is here. The moment you are able to learn, he said, don't be overwhelmed. Just learn what to do and enjoy with your children. So this ultimate holiday bundle, what it does for you is that it actually helps you to stay organized. So you find out that the whole, the holiday is organized, that you're able to do a lot of things. And a lot of when we're wondering, why was I even really afraid of the holiday? We are only afraid because you have not mastered the act of being able to stay organized. The first thing to do, the first thing to learn as a parent is how to plan. The first thing to learn as a parent is how to plan. The moment you don't know how to plan as a parent, you will fail. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, you will fail. You will fail because there is something. Everything about parenting will overwhelm you without planning. Every single angle. And when you get into the inner circle, one of the things we teach parents is planning. That's the first point. You don't want to know how many things we've learned this year. The parents in the inner circle will confirm. It's been 6 months only. The number of things we've learned. On a normal day, if you're outside of this system, it's going to be, hey, it's just killing me and all of that. The first thing we train to have is how to stay planned. Because we create a predictable system. Now, when it comes to parenting, unpredictability is the enemy of parenting. So the moment you become predictable, the moment your children can understand what can happen, for instance, during the holiday in our home, it's predictable to the teeth. Our children understand what is required, what is going. It's predictable. So I'm not saying, hey, make sure this holiday, you're not watching TV all day. This is not, It's predictable because there is a plan. And if you do not build the plan, you get overwhelmed. you get overwhelmed. That's what the ultimate holiday bundle is about. Building a plan around your holiday. So, because we think that because it's holiday, we can live it structureless. A structureless holiday is a burden. It will overwhelm you. Please do not key into a structureless holiday. Some of the worst things that you want to do. Let your holiday be structured. Are there going to be spontaneity in your holiday? Yes. Make room for spontaneity, yet plan it. Anything that you plan, you fail to plan, you actually plan to fail. It is general and is applicable even in parenting. Even in parenting. So you can actually predict. So, yes, children like predictability and routine. Someone is actually listening to me and saying, does this apply to toddlers? In fact, toddlers actually are the ones who need predictability and routine more than any other set of the children that you're parenting. So you must be predictable. You must be predictable. Your parenting must be, must align. Your children must understand what there will be rituals that actually happen in your home that will help you to actually be able to navigate. So the first strategy in parenting is planning. If you don't plan, you get overwhelmed because parenting in itself is hard. Like we say in the inner circle, choose your heart. Choose your heart. So that you are not just, fighting all over. We've come to the end of the conversation today, and do not forget to get our books. All right. This is an opportunity for you to start reading. Most of the things I have shared with you are different copies of our book, different things from different parts of our book. That is Connect to Correct. This is Raising the Independent, the Emotionally Skilled Child. This is the Parenting Launch Plan. In the inner circle, we say that parenting is actually learned. And this is the launch plan. We actually plan, and then we launch. So that we do not have failure to launch generation like we have them today. All right. This is walking your child through puberty. This is a blockbuster. I'm going to keep it at that, okay? And I'm going to tell you more about this work and what we're doing with it in recent times as we are coming, and then how to love your child more from yelling to calm. This is not a time in the holiday for you to yell and yell and yell and yell and yell and yell. No. It is the time. If you need to keep screaming this holiday, there's something wrong. You need to actually work on it. This is solving family problems through effective communication. I've seen families in big family friends use this to solve problems, and it's been a rewarding tool for them. So this is Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 1 to 3. We currently have Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 4 coming on the way. We cannot wait to actually have that book in the line. Of course, we now have Resolving Sibling Rivalry, and then the Discipline That Works, right? I think that Discipline is not an emergency, and Discipline That Works are the two books that parents actually usually will ask me, so coach, I think I need to actually get this book, because our interpretation and our definition of discipline has a lot of leg, and we need to deal with it. And then this is Raising the Independent Thinking Child. This book took me 2-3 years to write, and while writing it, I'll finish writing it, I'll say it's time to publish it, I'll say no, it's not time. And I'm sure that when you read it, right, both Raising Independent Thinking Child and also The Discipline is not an emergency. When you read them, you understand why. All right, it took that long. The researches were amazing. How do I get the prices of the books? All you need to do is send a chat to the number on my screen. When you send a chat to that number, they will be able to share with you details of where you can get any of our books from the nearest distributor around you. We have distributors around you, everywhere. Someone is asking me, is it okay for children to wake up late because it's holiday? It is okay, depending on what it is that you've structured. There are days, in my home where we call the sleeping days, right? So on those days, everybody's sleeping in, and sometimes it's actually we're all in one place. So it depends on what it is that you actually have created. Can we get these books on Amazon? Oh, yes, and even much more. Today somebody was asking me, so you have Before You Jabba? So I wrote a new book this year called Before You Jabba, for immigrants, parents, and parents who are planning to also migrate. And it was like, you didn't announce it, you didn't do pre-order. Say there's no strength, there are too many books now. All right, so you just go on Amazon, there are even much more books not announced that is available, really. All right, that have blessed a lot of families. Our target is to use books to actually solve problems and make families get renewed. I think that's about that for all of the conversations. Somebody said, I'm happy to be here for the first time. The teachings are insightful. Planning is a powerful strategy to start your day. Absolutely. Please get the ultimate holiday bundle at 49999. This offer is over, I think, in a few days, right? The real cost of the ultimate holiday bundle is 21,000 naira. Each of the bundles costs 2,000 naira. We have 14 planners in this bundle, and it's as good as you're accessing it. Just some parts are free. You're just paying for a few, maybe paying for three, and then the rest are actually being given to you free. All right. If you learned something at this session, ensure that you share this link with a family and a friend. Tell them to tell someone that there is a parenting academy somewhere that you can learn. Do not forget that the TIP annual conference is live right on Monday. We're starting Monday with Pastor David Oyedepo as the first speaker, and you want to be there. We're having 32 speakers. You can't beat it. Nobody can. It's our 7th year. It's been amazing. We look forward to hosting you. And if you want to sponsor, have your services, your goods in front of that, live streaming global audience. Last year we were able to get in front of, we were able to have 2 million impressions on YouTube. All right. So if you want actually, a system where you can have people see what it is while you're doing that and also supporting the TIP annual conference, which is absolutely free, right? You are welcome to do that. The details will be on our channel as well. How do I join the inner circle? The inner circle, you see all of the details scrolling right under my system, but I'm going to actually also put it, to show. So look at the screen, just take a screenshot. It is 100,000 naira per annum for a single slot and 170,000 naira per annum for a couple slot. However, you can book a slot now with 5,000 naira. That helps you to be able to secure a slot. Last year, we had over 1,000 people we couldn't onboard into the academy. Not because we didn't want or we didn't like your money, but because we have a system that keeps us in check and keeps us accountable. And that system prohibits us taking in that number. So of course we couldn't. Our hands were tied. We had over 500 people who came after the 1st of December. We couldn't take them in. There are people that have been waiting on the waiting list from the 1st of December till now. They are still waiting. You wait till 1st of, so because our enrollment is once a year. We don't enroll people in the middle of the year. We don't take in people anytime else. It has to be once a year. And we look forward to actually welcoming you on board. But for you to be able to secure a slot at the inner circle, you want to pay now so that you can get a slot. If you don't get a slot now, please, we don't hear a beg during onboarding process. Last year we onboarded about 5,000 parents, and I can tell you for free, it's a lot of work. So once we pass that number, remember that we already have these parents. And when you are in the inner circle, you don't leave, you don't get away, right? You stay and stay. Because by the time you come back, if you leave, you come back and meet a whole new system, right? That you're wondering, have I been here before? Yeah, that's how we roll. And that's what it is when you are called to do a thing, right? Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to actually having you guys in the academy. I also look forward to you becoming a better parent. For me, that is the most important thing. And of course, let this particular holiday be awesome so that you can remember how one coach told you about planning and getting an ultimate holiday bundle. And yes, you will be in there using it and you will have lots and lots of testimonies to it. Trust me, we only offer value. Somebody is somewhere asking, oh, like, what am I going to learn in the parenting academy? What am I going to learn in the parenting system? Newsflash. The TIP, the Intentional Parent Academy, is the expectation. If you have any expectation that you're coming, for instance, you're coming for a conference, you're thinking, what will I learn? Drop what you will learn. Don't think it. When you come, we'll give you the things you think you even know, and yet you didn't even know. That's who we are. We are value driven. We're known for value. And if you pay for anything and you think that it wasn't value enough, tell us. Inner circle parents will say, come to us, leave coach, we will refund you. Call it bragging, it is what it is. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I am Africa's #1 parent coach. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you again Tuesday next week. We're not even seeing you on Tuesday. We're seeing you on Monday. 5 p.m. when we go live at the TIP Annual Conference 2024. It is 7 days Shiloh, parenting Shiloh. That's what we call it. Back to back learning. You don't survive. When you're done, you're going to be wondering, where have I been? See you on Monday and have an amazing day, everybody.